is it that time already? I'm slicing a bit of bread here for the visitors coming in a while. Aye, you're welcome over the half door, and I hope it'll be the first of many visits you'll be making to me. Now, I have 2 guests joining me tonight. Ronan Galvan, the great fiddler, and master of litter, which he'll be telling us more about later. And of course, there's a fellow Glenties woman, Tara Connaghan, renowned fiddler, and Musha, there might be something to discover about her as well. I'm actually embarrassed to say that despite the fact that we grew up in the same town, now I know I'm a bit older than her, but I know very little about her. But she'll be here the night, and she'll fill in those gaps. So, hopefully they'll be here shortly, and while I'm waiting on them, I'm going to butter a bit of bread. This bread is actually a whisky bread. I got the idea, I soaked some fruit, sultanas and mixed peel. I just soaked it in a bit of whisky last night with a wee dash of orange juice and some brown sugar, and today. So we'll see what it tastes like now in a wee while. And in the meantime, while I'm waiting on those bucks to arrive, I'll just have it buttered and ready. And do you know what else I have the night? I have some lovely homemade pastries that were sent up to me by my cousin Jenny when she heard the wee gathering was the night. She sent them up. She's a wee Jenny's pop-up bakery. Anyway, that's it. Better get going here.
Hello, Breezy.
I was cripes almighty. Come in, sit down.
Breezy, how's it going?
Ronan, the master of litter.
To hear more about this.
There's a wee bread for you.
Look at that. Ronan, darling. Look at that. Do you know what? It's true what they say about bread brings people together, you know. It really does. Tara, do you bake?
I do a bit.
I heard that you do.
Do you? Did you know?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Now, while Ronan's a master of litter, what are you a master of in the kitchen? What was it you told me that she made?
Desserts.
Just actually, yes. I like making desserts.
Cheesecakes and such.
I recently made a banana bread and it went very horribly wrong because I was using a different oven. Didn't have any utensils, didn't have the usual stuff, and I thought I could get away with one egg less, and it didn't. It was awful.
Come here till I ask you something.
Yeah.
Do you prefer gas or electric to bake in?
Personally, I prefer electric.
Do you? And what about you, Ronan?
For the oven, electric, and then on top gas.
Funny, so I prefer to bake in a gas oven.
Do you?
I do. It's a moister heat.
Right.
Moister heat. Anyway, listen.
Well, the range is the best.
My mother baked in the range at home. Yeah. I never mastered the baking on the range.
No, the range I'd use in the winter, like for baking.
Come here. Do you want your tea towel back?
You can have it.
Is that a gift as well?
Yeah, work away.
See with bread.
Tara,
I didn't bring anything, so just me and the fiddle.
It's not good enough. Where you go? But you know the bread, it really does bring people together.
Well, I'm dying for some of this bread now you're talking about.
Well,
it.
a friend or we'll cut it now in a minute with the pot of tea wet.
Yeah.
A friend, Tommy Sands, the great Tommy Sands, he wrote a poem one time about bread.
Lovely.
Just sharing food is sharing life, vital as breath. Companies gives us company with bread from heaven's earth. Yeah, company, the word company is from company.
Oh, yeah.
Company with bread, yes.
Gee.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It is.
French.
It is. Listen.
Yes.
You just need to earn your keep.
Okay.
We'll just play a wee tune while I finish buttering the bread and giving the...
Is there a tune about bread that we... I just have to... I don't know. Is there?
Before you, do you want a wee drop of whiskey?
I would take a drop.
Good on you. Do you know what I've made as well? This bread that I've made. I told you. It's soaked. You'll taste that in a wee while as well.
Did we hear something about whiskey there as we were coming in the door? We heard something that was soaked in whiskey?
Yes.
So
I'll be breathalyzed the whole way home.
Definitely
you take a wee drop, Tara.
I'll take a wee half drop.
Oh, just for the night that's in it.
Just to keep yourself warm.
Yes.
That's perfect. Thank you very much. Ladylike size.
Let her rub.
Right, Ronan.
I want that bitty from up.
push out a wee bit.
We'll move that out of
That's
your
all.
way.
Don't worry, it's not in my way too much.
I'm just covered up actually, there's no need for it. We're showing off there.
You're showing off all your bread.
Showing off my
Your
bread.
breadware.
Will you have to throw that over there?
I
Good
will.
woman yourself.
Love
Something
it.
like that. Is there one after it, or will you just play Asher?
Sure, if you think of one, I'll join you.
We'll see how it goes.
What's the name of that?
Biddy from Muckross.
Biddy from
Muckross.
Muckross, up and through.
Kilcar, yeah.
Beautiful part of the world, that.
And Muckross is...
That's that whiskey's from your now, that day. But
Yeah.
which brings me, you weren't reared in Donegal.
No, Clondalkin. in Dublin.
Clondalkin, but your parents are both from and
Parents.
through.
From Glen, my mother, and then Duncandaly, that's where my father was from. So I was coming up from when I was a kid, and then sure I started playing this. And
But you were
Led you straight
literally-
totally.
but you know,
completely.
what age were you when you started playing the fiddle?
12, which was quite
You were
late.
I was
quite-
the
but you
same.
were later.
No, it's about around 12.
Right.
Because my research said that you started in your teens.
That is.
12 teen.
Kind of, yeah.
He was a
I-
wannabe teen.
I was just before my 13th birthday. I was just.
I didn't realise you were that late, Ronan, as well.
And what prompt? Like, is it, the music? Your grandmother was a lilter, was it?
No, no. But my uncle used to visit every couple of weeks. He was Anthony Byrne from
Yes.
Glen. He was
Yes.
a teacher down in County Laois, and so he was close by. He used to go up every couple of weeks, and he was playing, and my dad played a bit. And then, you know, when I started playing, I met James Byrne, and
Oh, the great G. Wad, he was some buck.
and then sure coming up here, and then seeing people like Vincent Campbell and playing with James and remember Con Cassidy as well.
Yes,
people like
yes. And Danny Meehan on the lakes.
that. Yeah, well, Danny was later on the scene, but like in terms of him coming back and living in Donegal,
Yes,
2007, I think. So Danny brings another element,
Dimension
another
to
kind of
the
angle
whole.
to things. Like you know,
Yes,
it's,
yes.
they're all unique players.
But your grandfather, was he a fiddler?
He was, yeah, Paddy. I don't remember him now. He died in 1967.
And he was, you were telling me another time about the connection with James Byrne.
Oh yeah, well, him and
Do you take sugar?
him and James are very close.
No, milk. They played together.
Yeah, they like James's house was at the top of our lane, so once James started playing, there were a number of fiddlers there, but I think him and my grandfather, James used to be in our house every day, like, when he was a kid.
Yes.
So, and then he got on with my grandfather, and they were good buddies. So, there's a recording of them playing together from 1958.
The gramophone recording.
Well, it was done on an old reel-to-reel or something like that. You know?
What is it, King Billy's?
Oh, King William's Rambles, yeah.
King William's Rambles Through Hell. Do you know that tune? Do you know
Yeah,
it?
Tara plays it. You do play it.
Do I?
You do.
Oh, go on, put that down. Well, you...
But that's only, I mean, that title is, it's very local from Paddy Houdini. But
Go on,
I think
give it a
there's
laugh.
other,
What's
is
it
it the
called?
Mug of Brown Ale, I think is the...
Brilliant.
Do you know it?
You play it.
I do, yeah, but
The second half
I'm
is,
also very good at listening.
but the
Aye,
second...
go on.
No, the second half is... it's different.
Alright.
It's only in Glen you hear that second half that they played. You know, it's funny. Like,
We'll play
but you
it.
play it. No, play it.
I'll join in because I just can't remember the second half.
Isn't it good bread?
It's amazing. That's lovely.
Is there you said something about it having another name?
I think it's the Mug of Brown Ale, but it's a different second half, which is played all around the country. That's the normal, but then they have.
The wee variation, yeah.
It's only heard in there, like, you know. So.
I think I only recently heard you playing that, like
All right.
just before lockdown, maybe.
That always intrigues me about the tunes. How do they remember all the names? How do you remember the names?
Because there's so many other things that I forget.
Well, I have
Generally, I there's things
You
I
remember
should.
the things worth remembering.
I forget to do other things.
Yeah, yeah.
Unfortunately,
But
I do forget
I
names.
don't think. I mean, there's other
don't know
people have
any.
much bigger. You have a much bigger number of tunes than I have. You
But I
have.
don't remember any names of any tunes.
Well, I'm not good in names either. Like, you know. But
Yeah.
Mick Brown is fantastic at names.
He is,
Oh my
yeah,
god, he's an encyclopedia of names.
and there's Sean McLaughlin as
yeah,
well.
that's right. Yeah.
Mick and Sean, and there's a few people that are brilliant on names. Like, you know. So,
I'm bad.
yeah.
Very poor.
Speaking of I suppose people good at remembering music tune names and song names. You did a Tom, the exhibition that you curated.
Oh, Tom Munnelly.
I was pronouncing his name, you know, Monelli, because it's
That's
when
the Italian version.
I looked him up, and it's spelt on the machine. So I must remind Google they're not right about everything. They've got the name
Yeah.
spelt wrong. But yes, have you heard of him?
Tom Munnelly?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew him as well. Not very well now, but I did know. Yeah.
Is it? Well, he's still alive or not?
No.
He lived in Clare, and I was working in Clare at the time.
Oh, you were an arts officer down there
I
or
worked in
something.
the arts office. Yeah,
You
in Clare.
did.
Mm-hmm.
God Almighty, Clare has lost a great.
I'm gone a long time now.
Aye, but God, Tara, see even what you do in the empties for the community. You know,
I wish I had more time. That bread, the brown.
It
that's
is good
amazing.
bread.
Who made this bread?
That one I just gave you, that's Ronan's.
Is it?
Yeah.
Ronan, that is stunning.
Really good bread.
I'm going to eat Breezy's bread.
Tell us what you think of that with the wheat whiskey in it.
I'll have a bit of that.
Lovely. Really, really amazing.
Can I have some?
I help you some butter there, and
Thank
but
you.
the exhibition captured in song. Well, first of all, why Tom White Tom,
Well,
Manelli. White Tom, not Manelli.
well, I was in the National Folklore Collection in Dublin, and
Are you still the treasurer with them? Or
secretary? Or was it? I was treasurer for a while. No, but I know this is years ago, like probably 10 years ago now. But I was working there for a while and spent a lot of time there, and the whole Tom Munnelly collection is there. But I knew Tom from, well, I didn't know him, but I saw him at the early Fiddle Weeks in Glen
That's right.
in the late 1980s, early 90s, and Tom used to record all the Fiddle Weeks. But then I realised he was really ultimately a great song collector. That's probably one of the biggest collections of song by any one individual. I think it's something like 20,000 songs.
what? And
Collected,
you know, with regard, I sing and all, so I'm not a singer. Ernan O'Donnell. He was a local man. He died earlier this year, wasn't it? Ernan.
No, Aaron.
Aaron was. I used to visit. We used to visit each other. I used to visit him.
Oh, great songwriter and a great
very
collector of songs. Funny as hell.
Very witty.
But Ernan says to me one time, he says, Breezy, I never met anyone like you that can change key 3 times in one song. I swear to God. Another time he says to me, he says, Breezy, if anyone ever asks you what key you sing Noreen Bonan, tell them it's a very careful C.
Careful, see.
Oh, he was
Brilliant.
a character. He was a character. But what makes you decide on
Well, there was a few characters that I heard that Tom recorded back in. I just looked mostly at Tom's first year in 1971 as a full-time collector, and one character that Tom recorded was a man in the middle of nowhere in Offaly, County Offaly, called Jim the Rib Hanlon. Jim the Rib, and like he was known as for the Rib because back in the 1920s and 30s when he was a young fella, well, in his 20s, they'd be playing marbles, a bunch of lads, and then halfway through he'd say, lads, I'm going off to find myself a rib. And what he meant was from the story from the Bible, how Eve came from the rib.
A woman.
You know, a woman. That's
he was going to find himself
but
a
he used
woman.
to call it, I'm going to find myself a rib.
That's
And he
brilliant.
became known as Jim the Rib. So, and Tom was interviewed once, Tom Munnelly, by a girl down in Clare. She used to be on the Clare FM. Her name's Paula Carroll. And on radio, and he was asked who in all your years of collecting stands out. And the man that stood out for him, or the person, was Jim the Rib. And he wasn't necessarily what they call a fantastic singer, but he had this whole aura about him that, and it was just, he spent 5 hours with him one night in a little village called Gaishel in Offaly, and to listen to Jim singing that in that setting was just magical, like, you know. But he was the one who made the impression on Tom, and that all made an impression on me then, you know. So, because Tom was always after what they call the classic ballads, like the child ballads and a Holland Handkerchief and these type of epic songs, you know. But Jim didn't have any of them. He just had local songs from his locality in Offaly. So, I was just drawn to Tom, you know, and he was just a very... and I knew him. I met him a few times and I had good chats with him.
It's so important to celebrate characters like that, because if it wasn't for the likes of Tom, and there I'm looking at a hero of mine over there, Peggy Manus, you know, and Ernan, and there's so many. If it wasn't for them collecting local songs and stories and local lore, we would be a sad nation of people. You know. Aye, so you're a master of letter, Ronan Galvan. For I was reading, and I had to ask what it meant. That you got an M lit.
it's the most confusing title.
Master of literature it is. But of course, the devil was nodding at me.
But I mean, you have to create a lot of litter to get to that point. So it's actually not. It's accurate enough when you think about it.
The devil's nodding at you, boy.
No, I mean, I don't know why the hell they call it that.
No.
But
Oh, the Lord, it's so hard to be humble when you're perfect in every way. Ronan, you're good cracking.
give us an old blast of a song. Jeez.
Oh, I want to talk to Tara.
Oh, sorry. It's
But it'd be nice to have a wee song in between. So
in
moves
between.
in-
In
moves
between,
over
moves
like this.
around.
Yeah,
Well,
musical
what do we
chairs.
think? What do we think? If I were a blackbird, I'd whistle and sing, and I'd follow the ship that my true love sails in. And on the top rigging, I'd there build my nest, and I'd pillow my head on his lily white breast.
Yoo-hoo.
I am a young maiden, my story is sad, for once I was courted by a brave sailor lad. He courted me strongly by night and by day, but now he has left me and gone far away. If I were a blackbird, come on, I'd whistle and sing, and I'd follow the ship that my true love sails in. And on the top rigging, I'd there build my nest, and I'd pillow my head on his lily white breast. He promised to take me to Donnybrook Fair, to buy me red ribbons to bind up my hair. And when he'd come back from that ocean so wide, he'd take me and make me his own loving bride. His parents, they chide me and will not agree that I and my sailor boy married should be. But let them deride me and do what they will, while there's breath in my body, he's the one I love still. If I were a blackbird, I'd whistle and sing, and I'd follow the ship that my true love sails in. And on the top rigging, I'd there build my nest, and I'd pillow my head on his lily white breast. There you go. Now, Tara.
Tell me,
What
does courting me strongly mean?
Courting me strongly. Now,
What does that mean?
you should be the one who should be telling us what that means.
I don't know.
Huh?
You're the one singing it.
Listen, I'm an old maid. I'm a Spencer Kelly. I don't know what those things mean. Aye, Spencer Kelly. My philosophy has been, lads, if you why buy a cow when you get milk for free?
Oh my god, hold on. My brain is
Anyway, enough nonsense. Master of litter, I'm leaving you for a while. No,
Such a
Ronan.
relief.
How did you bucks meet? Like, was it through the music?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Glen
yeah.
Fiddle Week, I think was the first time we met, wasn't it?
It was either in Glenties or Glen.
Oh yeah, probably
I can't
Glenties before.
remember.
Actually, yeah, you're right.
19. I know my first Glenties was 1990.
Was that the sessions in
In the
Fiddler's
October
Weekend,
weekend, I was 15. I remember going down and met Vincent Campbell for the first time.
It might have been the
With
next
James
year
and-
then, because I think myself and Denise went the first year when we were 14, and you're 2 years older than us, so it was be when you were 16.
Right, yeah.
But I would have been there anyway, in the
You'd
Highlands
have been
anyway,
hanging around.
hanging around.
Yeah.
But
But come here, like, was it for your leaving cert you made the harp?
I did, yeah.
You did
yeah.
woodwork at school.
I did.
Now, for a girl doing woodwork,
I
how?
had to stand my ground to even get to do woodwork. I was the first girl in the school, possibly one of the first girls in the country to do woodwork. And
Amazing.
they wouldn't let me at all. Like the vice principal came down and he was the woodwork teacher. He was a lovely man. But when I started school the first week, looking at the options, I was like, woodwork. Yeah. like home economics, no interest whatsoever. Did not, turn me on whatsoever. But the woodwork,
You're not a domestic
not
goddess.
a domestic goddess, really. So I put down woodwork, of course, and I was dying to do woodwork and accounting or something with the options I took, and the vice principal came down, knocked on my parents' door, and said, Tara cannot do woodwork. And my mother's like, oh, I think she's really excited about that. You better tell her this because she's not going to take it from us.
Yeah.
And so I remember like the first week in secondary school, and the ding dong, could Tara Connaghan please come to the principal's office? So I had to go down to the vice principal's office and the principal's office, and they're like, you can't do woodwork. And I said, but why can I not do woodwork? And they said, because it's not a girl subject. And I was like, but that's that's not a why. And I couldn't understand. I was like, that's not a reason. That's an excuse. That's not a reason. And he was like, yeah, but why would you want to do it? And I was like, well, maybe I'll want to work with my dad. Little did I know, 7 years ago I would take over a construction company, and I needed that background in woodwork and construction studies in school that I did. So, but I did. He kept saying, no, you can't go, and I said, well, I'll see you on Monday. He said, no, you're not going. I said, well, I'll see you Monday. And I said, please let me just try it out for 2 weeks. If I'm disruptive or I'm really, really bad, I'll understand, and that's okay. But don't push me out the door because I'm a girl. Yes. So he said, no, you're not going. I was like, I'll see you Monday. So I went. Did. Yeah, myself and Sharon Ward, there was two of us. And so he probably obviously knew I was the ringleader. So myself and Sharon, we sat up the front, and we were just fascinated, and all the boys are like, sticking things together and sticking things to their arse and stuff, like boys do. Whereas we're like learning everything, and so when he said cut something down the middle, he said not on the left side of the line or the right side of the line, but actually down the centre of the line. Well, I cut it down exactly the centre of the line, like he said, and he loved us then because the girls are so much more precise and detailed, and
But it's choosing as your leaving cert project to make a harp.
Was out of necessity.
That's more than woodwork.
I wanted to learn to play the harp, and it was very hard to source a harp. So it was either that or a flute. I wanted to play either of them, and it was easier to.
You were already playing the fiddle at this stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you had an interest to play the harp or the flute.
Yeah, just to try to a shrine game for anything.
Where the uilleann pipe making?
The uilleann pipe making then came.
Amazing.
Absolutely, Ronan, absolutely.
I would say most people in Glenties wouldn't know that I made uilleann pipes, or I spent 3 years doing a course.
Well,
pipe making.
It's funny when I heard that you were making uilleann pipe. Like it's true, Tara. Over the years, I don't know a whole lot about you.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Because you're a private person, and that's the way it should be.
I'm not always particularly private.
You know what I mean.
I just haven't lived at home for a long time until recently.
Oh, maybe I really need to go into the dark web to find out the real Tara.
Or maybe just spell it right.
But I remember hearing that you were doing an uilleann pipe making course, and I was totally blown away. Right. And I often think I'm only a young one, half a century and 7 I am. But if I was starting out again and knew now what I know then, what I didn't know then, I would probably have been maybe not a singer, but it would certainly have been connected to music and instrument making. It just fascinates me.
For the uilleann
you were a hero and continue. That's.
I just happened to be in the right place at the right time, and somebody mentioned the right thing, and I had just quit my job in Carlow, and I was pretty exhausted after working 3 years of 20-hour days, and I was exhausted, and I'd come home for about 6 months, and I slept for about 6 months. Most people didn't even know I was home. I came to a few sessions, but I was there to sleep, just to recuperate. And Keevan McKee, another fiddle player, and Carriage's Fiddlery person, just happened to mention, I think he might have phoned or emailed or something, said if you know anybody that might be interested in uilleann pipe making, he was working with Leader or Donegal local development
Galvan
company.
yes.
I said, we're funding this course. If you know anybody, and I was like, I'm doing nothing. I was like, that's perfect. So I
You've made pipes.
I just emailed back saying I would love to be interested. I would be really interested in that. So
And come here, you made a set of bagpipes or
I have, yeah, not a full set now, a half set. So it's got.
Do you want a wee drop?
It has drones. It has the chanter, the bag, and the drones.
Yes, we.
No, I'm going to grand. Thanks a million.
And you play it sometimes.
We were learning to play it in the course for about 3 years. We did.
Thanks.
We did 3 years of learning the pipes while we were, because you really have to learn to play them. No, I'll be alright. Thanks.
Just a wee small one.
Tiny bit.
I mean, what you've had it doesn't even add up to a wee half, and as we call it. So, Christ Almighty, your grandfather.
Which one?
Sorry, we'll finish with the alien pipes. Your the
greenhouse.
House.
Tommy Tom.
Oh God, that man. I don't drink now at all.
Yeah.
The world's a safer place.
Because you're just dishing it out us
The world's a safer place without me drinking. But God, I had some thickened sessions with your grandfather.
No way.
Aye. But anyway, back to the alien pipes. So you have the alien pipes, you can play them. The harp, did you keep the harp? Did you keep the harp?
Well, funny now, the harp went missing for about 10 years. And because we'd moved house and the harp went missing, couldn't find it. We thought it was upstairs in the hallway, and then because my sister had a harp as well, so two harps were together. My parents bought one for her, and so the two harps were together, or so we thought, and then one of them was then missing, so couldn't find my one. And I used to joke that the harp that once in Tara's hall, because it was missing for 10, and the last place we saw it was in the hallway, but it was turned out to be when we moved house. There's a load of things thrown into a room. And
every house has one of them.
Yeah, and so there was loads of things thrown on top of it. The floor had actually collapsed in a room, and it was
harp.
It was in the ground. It was in the ground. It was in the earth. And
so it didn't rot.
It didn't rot. It's perfect.
What wood did you use?
Willow was supposed to be the best wood. So what did I use? The harp was a bit of a mixture from different bits and pieces. When I was doing bits of research. I remember my dad taking me up to Walton's in Dublin because they used to make harps, but they just stopped making harps when I started doing a bit of research. And we went up to Walton's. They had a couple of pieces of the top and side that were thrown
discarded.
And he says, you can have them. So, and he says, oh, there's a template. He give me drawings as well for a template, which was great.
Aye.
I could have used the drawings and made new pieces, but these were lovely mahogany pieces, and I was like, well, sure, and they didn't fit together, but so I had to make them fit. And I remember my dad turned the bathroom into a workshop for me. It was off.
Good Lord.
It was brilliant. And there was sawdust everywhere, but
it's great that it survived.
Yeah.
Willow would probably survive.
Yeah, there was mahogany in the was it mahogany? Mahogany, yeah, and mahogany. But actually, see the base, and the reason I was so upset about losing it for so long was because the base, the base part of is made out of mahogany, but it was taken from, our old shop out the Mill Road.
Aye.
You remember the older.
I do, Tara.
Where you went behind the house,
yes,
and there was a wee shack.
Yes, I do.
And there was a big mahogany countertop. And when I was looking for a base part, and I was like, Daddy, what am I going to use? And Daddy goes, hold on a second. Out with this.
No.
Cut off a piece of the countertop and gave me that. And so that was why that was so special, because that was, kind of part of my heritage. And grandfather was there. That was. So I really didn't want that anything to happen to that harp, but not because I built it, because of that mahogany.
Yes.
So and the back of it now, we did get Jan Mulyert as a harp maker in Navan, and he did the sound box, the round part at the back.
Yes.
Because I remember asking my woodwork teacher, what will I do? I have to make this round bit, and I asked Jan, I asked loads of different harp makers, what would I do for this bit, and they just said, for a 16-year-old, that's a whole project in itself. That you need
for
you
a
need a mold
16
for
year,
it. You know, you need a mold, and
But
building
even-
a mold would be
even
you know,
for
a
a
project.
16-year-old to take on that challenge.
But I think when I was 16, I thought I was 26, and I haven't grown any older yet. I think I'm still 26.
Yeah. But you know, isn't it true, lads, about how music just it brings people together?
It does, yeah.
It really.
Look at
there's-
the three of us are here.
Yeah, yeah.
Music, bread, and whiskey.
Music. There's a tune to be written. Music. It might have already been done.
Possibly.
Music, bread,
yeah.
and whiskey. Right, young one. You have to earn your keep here. Get your fiddle. Give us a tune.
Okay.
While you're getting it tuned up there, I'm gonna have another slice of your bread, Ronan, and Jenny's blackcurrant jelly. Tell you, it's a fucking fit for a king. Go on, woman. What are you gonna give us?
Maybe I'll play Maggie Pecky because I love that tune. It just reminds me of my grandfather's over in Tommy
the
John's.
greenhouse.
Yeah.
Yes.
I used to ask about that tune
God,
all the
he
time.
was a character. He really was. Anyway,
Right, Maggie Pecky. I was doing the dancing, learning to dance it as well. A couple of before the COVID.
not line
Yeah.
dancing.
Not line dancing, Maggie Pecky dancing.
Your mother's a great dancer.
She is, yeah.
She is indeed.
She's got much nicer feet than I have.
You hear that?
Not so bad at all.
Oh dear.
No.
Go on, give it a lash there.
Do you want to join on as well? at
I'll
some stage?
catch
would you?
up with you somewhere.
The Jimmy Campbell version or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a lovely one.
Another
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Go on, give us a step there. Brilliant.
You make you want to dance all night.
Oh, good on you, Tara. Good on you. Oh, what a lovely visit it's been. Really, really lovely visit, lads. And the bread, Ronan
Asher.
and Tara. The bread.
The bread.
Tara, the next time dessert. I want a dessert.
See, well, the reason Ronan thinks I make good desserts is because I used to live across.
You lived in the house.
I lived in
When
Ronan's
Tara
house
came to
as well.
Dublin to make the pipes,
That's
Yes.
right.
she lived in my house for a number of months.
Yeah.
Now the house was cold. Do you remember? But you
Oh,
made
yeah,
a
yeah.
couple of great desserts.
But then I lived across the road from his house as well, and myself and Bernie the Gowan, and we came over for dinner one night,
Yeah.
and I made.
Yeah.
What did I make?
The dates.
What was it though? Date.
They melted. The dates were melted.
Yeah,
and,
but what was it? What was the name of the dessert?
Oh, jeez, I wouldn't have a clue now, but it was good.
Oh, it was lovely.
No,
Yeah,
I
so
had
and he has been talking about this elusive
But you made
dessert.
another one recently.
But
You
Willie,
brought up to us.
I had a date yesterday.
A date, as in.
And today I'm going to have a prune.
Oh,
So, yes, the dessert,
I'm a
Tara.
dessert fan. Yeah.
Yeah.
I make creme brulees as well. Things like that. I do.
Recently you made something that was
What
incredible.
did I make recently? But Debbie makes lovely stuff too. You and Debbie make beautiful stuff.
Ah, well, sure.
You know that wee Rosie's house that you...
Yeah.
Yeah, wee Rosie was a relation of mine, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, great wee singer.
Yes. Yeah, she had a
Lovely
very young
wee
voice.
Rosie,
Even
yeah.
though she was 80
Oh,
plus,
Wow.
she had a
God,
very young
beautiful
voice.
Yeah. She's the tavern some spot.
And we're
That's a
both,
story for
we're
another
both
night.
living up beside it now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I might get back on the road. Because see, since I lost the license,
Hmm.
I'm I've no wings.
Your wings have been clipped.
Yes, yeah. But as I say, the drinks go. But anyway, that's a story for another day. As I say,
Ronan, what's in your bread? It's beautiful.
It's just very simple. Like, it's just flour, wholemeal, salt, seeds,
it is really good.
a bit of yeast, and then you let it rise, and then you just form it, and let it rise for an hour or two, and then
It's almost like a sourdough.
maybe, yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, we could sit and maybe we will chat for ages. But we'll have to call a halt to this part of the night. Thank you both so much
Sure, it's
for
our pleasure.
joining me over the half door.
No,
And I hope, as I say, it's not the first time that you bucks will join me over the half door. And you people, I hope you will be joining us over the half door in coming times as well. So all that remains for us is...
Raise a glass, maybe.
Oh!
As
You
long
know
as
what I forgot to mention? You know, that's how I've seen you dancing there as well. This was a raking house. Johnny Doherty used to rake here.
That's incredible.
He did. You know them, of course, John. Did you? No, how do you? When he died in the 80s,
we were
was
quite young.
it?
I was 5 when he died,
I was 3.
so
Half a
I might have
century
passed him on the
ago.
road when I was up here, but that was about
Yeah,
it. Like,
yeah.
you know, but he spent a lot of time. Well, he spent a lot of time in Southwest Donegal generally, like, and yeah,
Johnny Boyle wrote a lovely song.
That's right.
really nice song.
Will I give
Haven't
it a go?
heard it. Yeah, I haven't heard it
Oh,
in ages.
Jesus!
Will I
Yeah,
give
go on.
it?
Yeah.
Can you? I don't know. I mightn't get it right.
Is it in a careful sea?
Or three.
Or 3 different keys?
There were only 2 keys the last time you sang. I was listening.
You're keeping tabs.
I'm keeping it.
Well, we'll say goodnight from the
From the half door.
from the half door
In Glenties.
in Glenties, and I think maybe it would be better to send off with a tune from you two.
No, I think you were going to sing that song.
I can see you sitting with a cap on your knee, your head to one side and a smile in your eye, casting a spell with your fiddle and bow, like a bard that roamed these lands long ago. What was it like in those days gone by, when you'd call to a house and they'd open the door, and you sang and you danced and you played all night? John Simey, tell me, what was it like? Come everybody, raise your glasses high. Here's to a man who never will die. Drink his health, you one and all, and here's to the Bard of West Donegal. Brought up in a time as rough as the stones that lined the roads where once you roamed, but you carried a wealth of an ancient art. You called to our homes and you stayed in our hearts. Come everybody, raise your glasses high. Here's to a man that never will die. Drink his health, you one and all, and here's to the Bard of West Donegal. You'd call to a house with your tools and your tin, make a pandy, a pot, a kettle or bin. Then you'd go to a corner, sit in a chair, take out your fiddle and play a slow air. I can see you sitting in that hall so grand, with the lights and the mics all lying around, playing the tunes that you played long ago, midst the smoke of the pipes and the fires aglow. And as I listen to your gentle voice, I realize if you had a choice, you'd be back on the road with the wind in your hair. The tinsmith is coming, there's a tune in the air. Come everybody, raise your glasses high. Here's to a man that never will die. Drink his health, you one and all. And here's to the Bard of West Donegal. Yes, here's to the Bard of West Donegal. Johnny Doherty.
Lovely.
Lovely.
And I think the way to sign out is you bucks to whistle a Johnny Doherty. I forgot to ask you about your whistling.
Oh, the Connaghan ones. Or
Go on.
Will you just try it with that?
God, look at you.
Don't look at me.
Okay.
Go on.
Okay,
Right,
keep
so
going,
give
keep
it a
going.
blast.
That's what it's all about. Good on yous. Thank you. Well, folks, it's good night from Ronan, good night from Tara, and good night from over the half door. And remember, you can't take knickers for bare arse. Good night to you. Is that the wrong one to end it on?